Good morning, welcome to this morning's Outlook. This is Kim speaking. So let's look at firstly the news events that are going to affect us today. So construction PMI yesterday actually came out less than expected for the UK, so another dip in the expectations there, or from expectations. At 45.6 it's showing contraction. Today, well, we've seen the Reserve Bank of Australia interest rate decision left at 4.35. There was comments from the International Monetary Fund that they should raise that. Well, they've left it untouched. We'll see the consequences of that in a moment. That's pretty much it for this morning. We've got statements, etc., out there already. Swiss currency reserves at 8 o'clock. Sometimes that gives us a clue whether they've been manipulating the markets, but or their currency, I should say, via the markets. FOMC speaker at 3 o'clock this afternoon, so not a great deal. Now, what we're already seeing here, I'm looking at the euro dollar. Now, I always say the upper line in the channel has no real weighting in terms of price, can just push on through it and off it can go. However, on this occasion it seems to be hanging in there. Yesterday, very small day yesterday, very tight range. It's broken down from that range. That in itself actually are tight ranges. I mean, it's not quite a bearish harami here, but it's that sort of bar that we see that ends up as a bearish harami, and well, the price is running over at this stage. Let's just run through them 4 hourly wise. We've got the weekly pivot not that far below, which could be a draw this morning. No doubt there will be some divergence over the 4 hourlies there, which would have been triggered in terms of expectation, and that's running. So it does look a bit grim at the moment. We could still see the euro come back to these prior highs in this pivot on the weekly pivot and find a bounce. I'm not getting too pessimistic, but it does look soft, and I did expect it to come down at some stage, but there we are. Pound dollar, the same move down off its this particular trend line I've had on for months. I drew it way back because it seemed to have a lot of points around it, and it just, for whatever reason, it's around about 1.24. It's just over actually, but it seems to get a reaction quite frequently. It's like a magic button. Okay, a few pips short of it, but goodness, that's close, isn't it? Again, it's coming down to its weekly pivot, previous high. At this point here, any sort of bounce is potential. There is potential for a move back up, but just like we've already hit the S1 here. The probability of hitting the S2 is pretty high at this stage, so could just run through into that S2, but tread carefully. Anyway, it's still looking soft. I say still looking soft, but looking soft with what we've seen there. Shooting star, I know that people will be looking at that as well, of course. The yen, well, yen's bouncing here. Moving up slowly. Sorry, I'm just smiling because someone said that they was looking at something earlier and they can't remember what it was. I do that all the time. I sit there and I look through all these markets in the mornings, sometimes see something. That's why I have to make notes, because otherwise you sort of going through 15 markets and also, and you forget. Well, I do. It's old age, particularly with Dean. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to mention his name. He lives near Bristol. No, not Bristol at all. That's unfair. Anyway, looking at where price is at the moment on the US dollar yen, running up towards its R2. High lows kicking through there. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like it's got further weakness at the moment. Now, the Aussie dollar certainly got a kicker to the downside here. Again, bearish harami. This might have been the leader of the pack. It's run through its weekly pivot and looking really soft from where it is. Now it had been sitting in that range previously. It could just come back to this range that sits there and find support, but it is for sure looking soft. There's no retracements yet, so I wouldn't. It's a patience game with all of these markets. Wait for the retracements and see if we can get a bit of value out of it and sell. If it looks like it's going to give a sell, that is. US dollar CAD again. This is you look at them all now, and they're all into their 50s or their pivots or my pivot, whatever it might be. Looking bullish at the moment on this US CAD. The sentiment on the CAD from the big traders is still very bearish, so this US CAD could continue to shift upwards. Still got a alarm sitting up there for some reason. I have no idea why now, but anyway, it's sitting up there for some reason. But we're already through its R1, near enough into its R2, so it's done a reasonable amount. They might have the pivots are a bit pinched today on a lot of these markets because of the tight ranges yesterday. New Zealand dollar, well, it's really taken a kick in here following the Aussie. As I said, it rose on the coattails of the Aussie, and it's now seeing what happens when you follow the big boys around. It's really taken a dive. Again, it's sentiment on the New Zealand dollar is very weak, and we're seeing the sort of consequences when it does move down. It moves down very sharply. Already through its S1, S2, and heading off for the S3 there at this stage. Again, I need some. If I'm going to short any of these, and you've got to be a bit careful. If I was going to short anything, I need to see a retrace. What better than a retrace off its 50 and its 34 here, where it is now even, and then see the breakdown and take the go with at that point. US dollar Swissy. Well, I was looking for something more out of this previously. I was looking for more of a sell-off potentially, but it's gone the other way. But it's not gone the other way massively. We could get a nice move into its weekly pivot. I'm sort of just looking at the weekly pivot above there. Maybe it'll run through into the 34 or 50, but just looking to see what happens here. But just like everything else, this is US dollar Swissy. The US dollar's got it at the moment, so patience. I was measuring this wave here, just applying it to the top to see if we got a bigger wave to the downside. It is very much an in-betweeny, because we had this lovely wave up, so you had this bullish flag sitting to the upside, started moving that move up there gave us a bearish flag to the downside, so it sits there in that sort of midst of things. A break of the highs here gives it much more a chance of a push, a continuation to the upside back into the highs and maybe beyond. A break of the low down here confirms the lower high, and this wave would be more in play. Anyway, Euro yen, just looking at a couple of the other majors crosses I'm looking at now. Really looks like it's got some potential to continue and kick through. Horrible old day yesterday. Spent most of the time just chopping, spiked down on the 10 o'clock bar there, 5 past up until 5:10, just spiked down and then continued the passage really. But it's a bit of a mess where it is. But we're back into the sort of more importantly, if we just come back out here, we're right back into those prior highs, or just looking like we're going to break those prior highs and continue further. This has been, I've been looking at this for a long time. It's been one of the most shorted pairs out there. I keep on saying keep out of it, don't short it. And well, there we go. There's the consequences of people sitting there shorting it. Right, Euro pound then, let's see what's what here. Looking for downside on the euro pound, possibly. Pound pounds actually. Euros. Yeah, I see that. So yeah, we're getting this, seeing this elsewhere in terms of these bounces. It's already put a lower high in coming up, and we might just see another move off here. So it's well worth putting an alert up here to see if it kicks into its weekly pivot, giving us opportunity for further downside here. It has been moving down quite nicely. Must say, just looking at this lower time frame, you can see the divergence that was here. It's broken the high in between the two lows. It could have a bit more of a kicker yet, but we are waiting for a little bit more of a kicker. It might have a bit more of a kicker, just to be wary of. Okay, usual suspects like the Euro CAD continuing to the upside here. I was looking at this on the swing side of things. It's got quite messy. It does look strong there, but the upside is probably quite limited, and it might just work better as an intraday trade. We've got all these highs here providing some resistance, but it could be looking to rise towards those. So intraday wise, yep, could have the opportunity for a bit more of a move. Swing point of view, well, I might be wrong, and it might just carry on through all of this. It's just there's a high risk of resistance there. So from a, as I say, day trade, there's some opportunities. Okay, that is pretty much it for me this morning. Euro New Zealand. Just look at this. This is yep, had this on my list as well. Possible long. Well, this is moving possibly long. So it's a bit more of a day, end of day swing starting to materialize on this. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So there are a few opportunities out there, but might need a bit of patience. Wait for the retracements. Looking at other markets, gold. So gold rolling back a little bit as the dollar strengthens here. It would be quite nice. I was talking about this last night actually at my swing meeting. It'd be nice for it just to come back towards its weekly pivot there and see if we can get a reaction off that. But big money's running into gold. It's looking solid from that point of view. It's just that it's got a bit toppy where it is at the moment, maybe. Oil. Oil still aiming towards the downside here. It's well, again, money coming out of big money coming away from oil prices, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows kicking through here, looking soft. That's such a lovely move off its 4-hourly pivot there yesterday, and it sort of rolled from that. So yeah, it's really moved from sort of 6 o'clock last night, 7 o'clock last night, when it really got its wiggle on from there. Most of yesterday was chop, but just looking that bit softer. S&Ps, quick look there, off this morning fractionally. Softer, just looking at some of the softer things that are out there, these might yet turn around. I wouldn't be too quick to be trying to sell off the S&Ps. It's scope for a continuation for sure. The DAX, that is selling off, and I still see more potential for this to sell off. It's got a clear market of lower highs. It's just popped the trend line across the top here. Just see there we go. So price is just sort of sitting into that trend at the moment, but it's starting to move away from it now. It could accelerate away from it as it dips down here. So looking soft. There is a point of support. Beware. There is a point of support into that weekly pivot, but if that's broken, well then the lows look like a better opportunity. And finally, the FTSE. FTSE consolidating, not really going anywhere too much here. If anything, again looking like they could roll over. We've got a whole bundle of support here in terms of the 34.50 and the weekly pivot, but a break of that, again, just like the DAX, I would expect more downside. Okay, that's pretty much it for me today. I wish you a great day's trading. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.